episode of Roadmap to Success, we are going to be looking at the opportunities that are unfolding in the pharmaceutical sector for the students to look at. To talk about these opportunities and trends, I'm happy to let you know that we have with us an eminent personality, Mr. Vaideesh Annaswamy, Managing Director of GSK. In fact, it was formerly known as Glaxo. Welcome to this episode, Vaideesh. We're delighted to have you for this program, and I'm sure students and faculty are looking forward to learning about a lot of exciting things that are happening in the pharma industry. We know that pharma industry is one of the key engines of growth for this country, and particularly if you look at the contribution of the pharma industry, it is not only essential component of the growth engine for India. We are aware that particularly in the generic drugs sector, India has been playing a lead role in terms of the contribution it is making at the world stage as well. How you have seen the pharma industry growing over the years, and if we could also talk about what do you see as the scope for further growth in the coming years?
Thank you, Ma. First and foremost, what I would like to say is that I'm not going to restrict my conversation just only on pharma industry, but at the end of the day, this is part and parcel of healthcare industry. At the end of the day, here we are talking about patient, right? And a potential patient. You know, when I said potential patient, there are people who are not patient today, but they could be because of the fact that lifestyle, what they do, and also genetic factors, they all make up some people to become potential patients. So there's something called a preventive healthcare. Other one is the breakdown healthcare, right? So we need to be looking at healthcare in total. And the healthcare is part of a system. It's a system. Healthcare is a system. The system consists of typically what I call it as the 5 Ps: physicians, providers, payers, and policymakers, and we call it as the playmakers, like a pharmaceutical industry, medical device industry, diagnostic industry, chemists, and those people who be part of the play that happens in serving the patient who's at the middle of this entire ecosystem. Now, when we say that what is the opportunity in healthcare, in 1947, when we gained independence, the average longevity of Indians were 45. So you're talking about people used to die as early as 45. And today, average longevity is 68. So now people are living longer. And thanks to the healthcare industry in India, has figured out how to make people live longer. And of course, in other countries are also people are living much longer than that. Now, we need to split this whole opportunity from a point of view of the audience. 2 sets of opportunity. One, India has figured out as a country to excel in the area of providing healthcare delivery and also providing healthcare processes, which has resulted in the world looking at us also as a big player in supporting their healthcare system. So you have 2 sets of opportunities. One is to operate within India to serve the patients in India. The other one is to how do you participate in supporting the patient care in the rest of the world, where the India is playing a big role. As Uma just mentioned, about almost 30% of the generic pharmaceutical drugs are manufactured in India and supplied to, and that story will continue in some form or other.
Thanks, Vaideesh, for outlining how the industry has evolved and why this will continue to be a very attractive arena for those who might be thinking about building their careers. Can we first talk about how you see this industry continuing to grow and what kind of opportunities will emerge in the domestic sector?
So if I take from a provider space, there's a big opportunity for people to look at being part of hospital management. being part of the delivery system itself. There are technicians, there are huge number of opportunity comes in the area of hospital management. There are huge opportunity for startups. There is a lot of opportunity for using digital in connecting patients to this ecosystem. Right? There's a lot of data capturing. Internet pharmacy that's coming in a big way. So the supply chain is going to see a huge change, dramatic change in the way in which the people have been consuming medicines. So click of a button, people can get what they want, like what you have seen in consumer product. That may happen in pharmaceutical industry. Then there is a big opportunity in the area of nutrition. There is a huge awareness for people in the area of nutrition. So you're going to see setting up an opportunity for setting nutrition companies in terms of participating in the science of developing nutrition. So you're going to see that as a big opportunity that's opening up. If you ask me, I think apart from the pharma industry, you will have sales, marketing, supply chain. You have the traditional way of doing it, but there is also a new science that is opening up, what we call technology assessment, where econometrics, what we call it as we use the term called technology assessment, that involves differentiation between outcome versus output and economic study. So you're going to open up people who are in the science field. They can get into it.
In order for us to enable every one of these individuals who are studying different subjects to actively consider potential opportunities in the healthcare industry, would you have any advice for academic institutions or the students to particularly focus on specific skills which may enable them to build successful careers in any one of the strands that you spoke about?
Academic institutions can focus on supply chain as a big subject, who can make a big difference to the industry. Either it is for the pharmaceutical industry, whether it is for devices or diagnostics, because at the end of the day, what patients want, a drug, but if the inefficiencies are almost 60% of the price somebody is paying, that's where these academic institutions can make a huge difference. Breakthrough can happen.
I'd like to also understand how you have seen technology disruptions taking place in the industry, particularly in your own organization. If you can talk about a couple of examples through which our viewers would be able to appreciate the relevance of analytics, digital technology, and other such interventions which have made a sea of difference in terms of how customers, patients, and other stakeholders are able to experience the brand or the product. Can you give a couple of examples?
In our company also, we have taken a big leap of faith in using digital technology. As an example, our frontline field staff, we have completely eliminated paper-based communication to our doctors. They all carry iPad. It contains almost the latest updated information, what the rep can have a communication to the doctor to transfer knowledge. And it's all happening through a click of a button, where we used to do it through a huge paperwork, artworks, and it's all content is all globally driven content. So you're talking about it's all happening at such great speed of using content development that are happening in India for a global, from opportunity. Design centers have been set up in India. They design it for global. So you're going to see marketing and communication, not only for India. We have set up centers in India for our global partners, for our, like for example, US and UK also. Some of the contents are developed here, systems are developed here, and we obviously through an outsourced organization. But there's a lot of back end work that's happening. And also within our company, we also generated, we have a chat bot and we have an iBot which actually condenses the amount of work that is being done to, for example, legal documents to upload, to scan. All of them is now being completely through a AI and through iBot. It condensed so much of work. So we have improved our efficiency so much in our work. So I can, even our recruitment also, we used AI to screen our number of application. It all happens in so fast using in AI and technology in HR, marketing, in sales, and even our the back-end analytics of what field staff does is being analyzed and feedback is given to our people, how sharply they can communicate. So which never used to happen in the past. So there's a real-time information that comes in that helps us to target and say the right thing. Wastages are eliminated.
With so many changes that have already taken place, with technology and science continuously disrupting the healthcare sector, what do you envision the future of workplace is going to look like? And if somebody were to get geared for the tomorrow's world, what are the top 3 or 4 capabilities you think they should be developing from today?
The new workplace is going to be digitally connected. There won't be real estate for anyone. There's nothing called office real estate where you can say, tell your friends and family, this is where I sit. So that's not going to happen. It's going to be, you're all going to be digitally connected. You're going to sit in various locations. Not necessarily the location has to be everyone in the same place. However, there is one critical capability that's going to happen is your ability to communicate, get your communication skill, fantastic communication skill. You won't have an opportunity to make people to understand looking at your body language, relationships and all those stuff, chemistries and all those stuff. It's all going to be digital chemistry. It's not about who you are, what you bring to the table, how you're going to collaborate, how much of a good human being you're going to look like. And what I call it is that be you is going to be so important rather than what people expect you to be. But be you, great domain expertise, collaborative skill, great communication, and learn to enjoy the environment of work rather than being a victim to the bureaucracy and hierarchy. The hierarchy is going to get destroyed. So it's all about you, how you show up as who you are and bring the best of yourself to the companies.
Thank you very much, Vaidheesh. It was really a great pleasure to have this conversation with you. I'm sure all our viewers have also enjoyed listening to you. Thank you very much.